Hello everybody, welcome to Black Cats TV. We're here with another match review, and it was Sunderland versus Sheffield United, and a long overdue win against a top tier team with recent form. What do you think, Conrad?
Yeah, beforehand I don't think we were expecting much from it, but it's nice to beat one of the big boys. I mean, the last time we did that was Burnley, third week of the season. So yeah, it was a refreshing change.
Yeah, definitely. And we scored all the goals. So, you know.
A bit like Portsmouth away.
Yeah,
And Charlton
Sunderland
at home
scored.
that time, but we don't talk about that one.
Sunderland scored 3 goals and we won 2-1.
Yeah.
I hope everyone who's watching this has watched the match, otherwise they're going to be very confused.
Spoilers right there if they haven't.
But it looked like it was going to start out terribly with the penalty call.
Well, it was. I think what even one of the commentators said, it was almost like an echo of what happened at Bramall Lane a few weeks ago, where we got a penalty early on and looked like we were putting the early pressure in. The keeper saves it, and then we took the lead instead. Actually, it was just a sort of what is it called, art mimicking life sort of moment, and sort of it was an obvious penalty. But the most frustrating thing about it was it 4 or 5 days ago away at Stoke? We didn't have one given for the exact same thing in the first half when Mepham was pulled back from behind by his shirt and dragged on the floor. Nothing given. Referee didn't even sort of say, no, not for me. And this one, I don't think he could get his whistle in his mouth bloody fast enough when that Sheffield United player hit the floor.
Is it a liability? Because he's pulling and tugging shirts in that box, even ones that didn't get spotted later on in the game as well. It shouldn't be doing it, should you?
What corner was it? Like 86th, 87th minute, and the one where Patterson came out and punched it. It's all because Sunderland players just holding shirts of stopping Sheffield United players from jumping, and you're just sitting there going like you're bloody dicing it here. Like he's going to give another one, but.
Let's have a look at the penalty, because that was the first incident, as it were.
Whistle. Well, I think he's given a penalty here. Bellingham misses his header. It falls kindly for Kiefer Moore, who's about to shoot when 09 drags him down. It's Kiefer Moore, and Patterson gets down to it. The local lad comes up with a big save for Sunderland. It's not a great penalty. It really isn't. Tries to go almost down the middle. Patterson spreads him.
Yeah, but they say it's not a great penalty. I don't want to take that away from Patterson. It was still powerful. It was fast. It wasn't like Matete's Bolton penalty that trickled towards the goal.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, well, the best thing about it was that, I don't even, if he'd have whipped that in the corner, you sort of go, Patterson might not reach it because of the power that he had behind it. But the fact that he had his legs still in place, it was perfect. Everything about that moment was just the perfect thing for him just to stop it in. Regardless, he still had to get in the way of it and then almost hope it didn't go straight back to him or, straight back to a Sheffield United player coming in. So he did exactly what he needed to, which is he stopped the ball going in the net by any means necessary.
And the penalty? Stonewall penalty for you?
Yeah, but again, the frustrating thing about it was we should have had one at Stoke for the exact same thing.
Yeah,
it's
but
just the
you can complain in a game. No, you can complain in a game for consistency, but if it's 2 different refs, you're going to get 2 different decisions, right?
But that you can still, as a football fan, be annoyed that you're sitting there going, these are identical, and yet one was given and one wasn't. Now, if you're on the receiving end of it, you don't mind. But if you're the one who's being punished on both by it, that's when you start to go, well, hang on, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Justice was done in terms of if we didn't get one at Stoke, at least they didn't score this, that sort of thing. But still, it's just annoying.
Yeah,
consistency again.
Something like that happens, a penalty save that early on. I felt the win was on as soon as that happened. I don't know about you. I don't know if that's just blind faith, but when something like that happens, I'm like, you can't go to lose this now.
No, we certainly got we got into gear is the best way of saying it at that point, and definitely played with the better of the first half after that near scare that gave us. Of course, that it could have been so different. And yeah, I don't think we looked especially in the first half. From that penalty, we didn't look back at sort of being, like Sheffield United doing this. It was just like, let's play our game and we'll counter them every single time. You break quickly. I mean, I don't know if you've seen the passing stats for the game.
I've not, no.
Normally not one for a lot of stats, but I'll do some stats here for you. I know we were talking about the first half, and this is kind of the full thing. So possession was 34% for Sunderland, 66% for Sheffield United. Passes completed was 291 from Sunderland to their 558.
Wow.
Now, shots on target, we actually had we had 6 to their 3. So there was a lot of them sort of trying to get that can be attributed to the second half when it was a bit of like they were trying to get around and camp and sort of go around us. But it just shows how the tactic for that game was you direct, you go. So as soon as you get out, you break and you go on them, because that's exactly how both our goals came in. It was just really fast and just get at their defenders.
Yeah, and the counter-attacking pace every time. There was not just like one option to put it through on the counter-attack. There was 2 or 3 people running. Could have picked either side. Before the goal we'll look at next, which is the Mienda one, there was 2 more near goals trying to beat the keeper at the near post, wasn't there? I mean, Mienda had opportunity and Isidore
doing almost the exact same shot to do it, and he was alive to save them both. The Isidore one, probably the better of the two because of the power that he hit it with, whereas I think Mayenda's wasn't as powerful, and I think he was a bit more closer to it at the time, but still they were great. Great efforts that we suddenly went, right, we're up for this. We've got the bit between our teeth and we're going to get at him. We're going to have a go. It's a shame we don't win anything from corners, really, without Ballard being there for free kicks, or Sirkin possibly. But yeah,
well, I've said it for a while now. Set pieces is our letdown when it comes to defence or anything like that. There's the channel sponsor in the background, the black cat meowing, I heard.
It's not the black cat, it's the white one. She's trying to get up on the counter for some reason, but she's this big and the counter's obviously like huge.
Well, there you go. Ambitious. Let's have a look at the Mienda goal.
That's Robinson. It's a mistake from him. Mienda is through here for Sunderland. It's Mienda! Takes his chance in this game. I just think you've got to deal with this. You cannot be trying to bring that down. Maybe he was trying to turn it forward and gets it wrong, but Mienda, how much did he need this?
I mean, that was a looping clearance from Meffin originally, that then just that defender, what was he thinking? I have no idea what he was thinking there.
He was trying to do the exact same thing. They was trying to just play a game of smash it tennis, weren't they, and smash it back to him, and just completely got it wrong. Underrated part of that goal is Mayenda's first touch to just kill it from bouncing to just run out in front of him. It's like you're sitting there going, that'd be so easy just to get that touch wrong and take him out wide, or not quite go the way it is. But just that little deft touch just to roll it just in front of him as well. And if you actually look, it's not actually that great a finish. It's sort of fairly just to the side of the keeper here. I know he's sort of gone one way and it's sort of there, but it's not like it's in the corner. That it was that reverse angle.
No, it was very lucky in a way.
Yeah.
But I mean, he deserves it. He really does.
I almost forgot to celebrate it watching, because I was sort of on my phone half an hour and I heard, Mayenda's beating him to it, and it was like, right, looking up, and I was just in my head, I was just thinking Blackburn, where he was through on goal and didn't even have a shot, and I was a bit like. And then obviously it happened, and you text me at the exact same time to say, God, Patterson's dicing with death when he's cleared that one off his line.
Yeah.
And I was like, what are you talking about, mate? We're 1-0 up.
I was, again, as usual, as per commentaries, I was behind. But yeah, it was, I didn't clip the Patterson moment, but now that you mention it, what a place to be a bit silly with the ball.
Well, we've always said he's not great with the ball at his feet, but as you've seen from this season, it's very much he gets the ball, he opens himself up, and he goes out the other way. It's just very simple. It comes in that way, he puts it out that way. It comes in that way, he puts it out that way. There's no messing with it, and obviously he just took a bit too long on that one and nearly got caught out from it, which we've seen from a few keepers recently in Premier League and other EFL games as well. It can happen if they're very quick and onto you. But we got away with it, and
Yeah.
he just saved a penalty, so we'll sort of forget that bit happened.
Yeah, so save the penalty, 1-0 up, buzzing. Nothing could stop us now, apart from a Luke O'Nien header. Let's have a look at that.
Robinson with the touch. Harmer involved again, and it's gone in. Well, what a game we've got here. This is evil. It's just horrible to try and defend. Ask any defender. O'Nien is trying to make an intervention, and a little bit like Jack Robinson, he gets it wrong and pays the price.
Before it crossed the line, he knew that he'd hit that wrong.
Well, if you
is it the right thing to even do? Put your head onto that at that stage?
Yeah, I think so, because the bit there, the slow motion, I think the third replay there, where it flicks off of Jobe and you see it coming towards him. If you actually look, it's curling towards the goal from the spin on the ball. So I think when it's first, he probably clocks it's coming. He's thinking, right, this is dead on. I've got this. By the time it gets to him, it's moved. And and he sort of couldn't get in the way of it there. It's unlucky, because as the commentator says, that's the last thing you really want to do is be flailing any part of your body at a shot that's just fired at you and sort of thinking, I have no idea where this is going once it hits me. But it went in. But it's certainly more accident than the one against Portsmouth earlier on in the season, where it felt like he just went, we haven't conceded a goal in 4 games, I've won, guys, and just sort of headed it in for no reason.
Is that 2 goals that O'Nien scored past Patterson now?
Yeah, he's got 2 this season. He's got 2 at one end and he's got 2 at the other as well, so he's back to goal difference of 0.
But it's still O'Nien 2, Patterson 0.
Yeah, exactly. I felt like, I think I texted you saying he's going to get a red card here because he's given away a penalty, which I thought he'd had a yellow card, shows how much I was paying attention. And then he's got that. I was sitting there going, he's having one of these games, and he just...
Yeah. Well, we can't... We can't message during games anymore because you sent me that, and for 2 minutes I was completely anxious because you just said he's going to on 9 on a red here or something like that. You didn't say it like he might, and I was waiting. Sorry. I was thinking it was going to happen.
Yeah, sorry, I'll have to spell it out a bit more clear next time. I think it's because I'm like, he's nearly completed the set of things to do in a game, really, and it's 19 minutes in. I just thought, but actually, when you think about how you've just given away a penalty, which we got away with, you've then scored an own goal. He had a pretty damn solid performance right after that, where nothing really went past him. You can't criticise him even for when he took a tactical yellow card in the second half and he just barged that and Brewster out the way. You just like, you needed to do it, absolutely, and smart enough to sort of think the ref's not going to make a decision on that one, even though I've given away a penalty. I thought after that, he's not man of the match by any means, but it was just to have that mental strength to be like, God, I've had a shocker of a start here. If you think about anything that could go wrong, I've done 2 of them, and just to get up and go, nope, next 70 minutes I'm going to be just as solid as I have been for the rest of the season. Thought he was brilliant.
Yeah, definitely.
Honestly, though, I thought it was Mayenda who'd scored the own goal at first, because I was sort of watching it, and because they both have the Under Armour long-sleeved red,
right?
So when he headed it and he fell down on the floor, you couldn't see the sort of, any sort of skin for any sort of clarity. You could just see the back of his head, and I was a bit like, oh, right, the hair. I was like, oh, it's thingy. And then I went, oh, it's 09. I was thinking, my end has got one, and now I've put one in at the other end as well.
Got a feel for him. But, I mean, I don't care what 09 does.
On Instagram, though.
No.
He had a picture taken with the Player of the Match award. He went, not many players get Player of the Match and they score an own goal and give away a penalty. So he's holding it like that. And, he just put, cheers, Mayenda, for letting me borrow this. But he even said himself, he went, awful start by me, but I made sure that I rallied and came back, for the lads, and it was a bit like, so even he knows I didn't have a great moment, but I made sure I improved on that. So it's 1, he's having a good joke about, but 2, he was self-aware enough to know I need to do something here.
I think he's one player in this entire team that is an absolute foundation. That like from League One up to Premier League next season, where we will be. He's just going to be part of that team, and he's just red and white through and through. Absolutely. Yeah. No other player, I think, has got that. Anyone else I can see, or possibly somebody signing, or possibly leaving at some point. It just feels like he's born and bred for the club. So
he feels like one of them that's never going to get an upwards move from us.
No.
In a good way. That we're completely fine with him. But it's not like Premier League teams are going, oh, look at that Luke O'Nien, he's bloody good down there, isn't it? It's just like, he's off their radars, which is harsh on him, really, because he's actually a really good centre-back, utility man, does whatever you want across the back line. But it just feels like he's never going to get a move. This is his club. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think he'd want one. Unless he stopped getting game time completely, I don't think he'd ever want one. So I'd love to see him develop into a coach and all that lot and carry on.
I think he has to stay forever. Can't
yeah,
like
forever.
Like
one of us.
He should have just stayed forever.
Yeah. Right, we'll look at the next goal, which obviously we're 1-1 now. Nervous times as a Sunderland fan, always being 1-1. And Isidore provides.
With the touch. Peck just hesitated and Roberts intervened. Mayenda. Isidore will have to readjust, but he gets to it. Isidore, burst of pace. Isidore! It's Christmas chaos in the Championship. And Sunderland edge ahead again. Brilliant from Isidore. Absolutely brilliant. That is a top draw goal from a player who really is having a brilliant season.
I mean, he looked like he'd scuppered himself and gone too far out to the left, and there's no way around a player at that stage, and he just turned on an extra gear and just went around him like he wasn't there.
There was that second touch, the first touch, like you say, you said, oh, God, he's gone out. And then even I was a bit like, he just hit it with his right foot, just to nudge it back in towards his goal path and just sprinted round the defender. I don't think expected him to sort of change his run so direct towards the goal. It was caught me off guard anyway. I was a bit like, okay, I couldn't believe that he got through.
This is how we should play, whether we're playing top of the league or bottom of the league. Watch this clip again. I'm going to play it again, but watch this clip again and ignore the goal and watch Roberts run. Watch how well.
Listen to R2D2 when he goes past his man. There's someone in the crowd that goes, yeah. Like R2D2 screams.
But honestly, watch Roberts run. How well directed it is. How much space he has, timed, like to not be offside, all the way to a goal scoring position.
With the touch. Peck just hesitated and Roberts intervened. Mayenda. Isidore will have to readjust, but he gets to it. Isidore, burst of pace. Isidore!
It's just, that's what I want to see all the players do. The fact that we've got him going down the left, scoring that goal, and an option on the right doing exactly the same run, onside the whole time. That's how we should be playing.
There was a chance, I can't remember if it was after this, I think it was where Ashish got in on the left side, and Isidore just slowed his run to be ready at the centre, the penalty spot, and he shot across goal, and it went wide. But it was that thing, if he'd have gambled going to the back post, he would have been there for a tap-in, and it's like you say, just someone's got to make that run to the back post each time. But as a striker, you probably think, well, I'll need to stay in the middle, be ready for a cutback or something like that. But Roberts knew my job is to keep this defender out here and also be there for if it does come across the goal, and he did fantastically well at nicking the ball off of the centre-back again. 2 defensive lapses, and we were on him both times it happened.
Second half, obviously, I was tied into a live that was scheduled for my other channel, unfortunately, at 9 o'clock, so I couldn't watch the second half. So fill me in, because there wasn't that many highlights.
No, that pretty much sums it up. There wasn't many highlights in the second half. It was sort of, I don't want to say backs against the wall. It was very much Sheffield United definitely came out and decided to try and give it a bit more of a go to get back in the game. I don't recall them ever really having any proper chances or any. There was a couple of pinging around the boxes at like 80 minutes, and I was going, no, like just waiting for it to sort of like net to ball. But they didn't really threaten Patterson at all, apart from the one you might have seen right at the end where they do a cross almost perfectly across the box, and Patterson comes out and leaps on it right at the striker's feet to make sure that it's you've got it, haven't you?
We shall see this, because I want to play a quick 30-second reel that just shows a couple of Patterson's contributions throughout that game.
It's Kiefer Moore, and Patterson gets down to it. Palmer again, and he sent that crashing in, and Patterson had to take evasive action in the end. Bit of room for Burrows. It's Andre Brooks, and that's kept out by Patterson. Again, plenty in the box for Sheffield United. Only trying to get to it, and Patterson pounces, and that is huge from the Sunderland keeper.
Oh, that's brave. That is so brave. That is going to equal 3 points.
That's the only reason I was ever any success as a goalkeeper playing football, was because I didn't care about going down at people's feet like that. Brave keepers, they win your games. Superb.
Yeah, I think I celebrated that claim at the end where he leapt on it like the 2 goals, because it was obviously the 96th minute or something, and it was just like, that's it. It's done. You're going to wind down a minute and going, and then you're going to just launch the ball as far as you can, and the game's finished. You know, it was one of them. It was just, it was a really good. It's weird. He doesn't get man of the match though, or player of the match, if you will. Even though he saved a penalty and did 2 really good saves, potentially 3 there, and also kept us in it at that point. I still think you've got to give it to Mayenda. I thought he was absolutely phenomenal.
He was. But again, it's one of those games you could pick many. I thought Oshish had a brilliant game. Nothing that is a highlight reel moment, but nothing wrong and everything right.
He was a threat at all times again, and he's sort of playing his way back into. You've got the rest of the season for me now. I know before we were talking about, is he one that's going to be out the door in January? I'm sitting there now going, I know Watson could be back in a few weeks, and Mundell will be back in a few weeks. I'm sitting there going, this guy's good as well. And if Riggs out for a while, we need another one who could almost play centrally as well. So I think he's definitely played himself into, you've got the rest of the season with us at least.
Hopefully, yeah.
However, Mayenda, so this is out of all the players on the pitch. In terms of goals, he was joint first in terms of goals with Isidore in 09, of course. He got the only assist of the game, despite there being 3 goals. So he was number 1. Chances created, he created 3, and he was joint first. Shots, he had 5, which was joint first. On target, 3. He had the most shots on target. Touches in the opposition box, he had 11, which was the most of any players as well.
Yeah, he looked threatening all the time, and he's finishing the goal. We know will give him confidence. It did last time he got a goal. He played a bit better each time, and the more he gets, the better he's going to get with that.
Do you know,
despite
what I noticed? Go on, sorry, I didn't let you finish.
I was just going to say, despite the striking coach we have at Sunderland.
Yeah, I know. Do you remember, obviously 2 seasons ago, Diallo and Roberts both on the right hand side, how they linked up? Mayenda and Roberts were both on the right hand side last night. If you noticed, of course, as well, because Alshish was out on the left. Now, when I think we were tucking in and defending, I think they all slid in and sort of became a 4 across the middle. But every time Mayenda and Roberts were on the ball, they were both running that right hand side as well. A bit like what we used to do with Diallo and Roberts. That it gave Roberts a bit more freedom to, like you say, do his runs into the box or take a man away, or take someone on, and it also freed up Mayenda a couple of times as well to get in and around. So that might be the way that we're looking at it now, of going, well, we're not going to have 3 across the front, we're going to have 2 out on this side who are interchangeable depending on who's where, but Isidore and Ashish, central and left.
It's horrible at this stage because Rig comes back in, and who do you drop? Do you drop Mayenda again? Or do you push him out and put Alshish in there? Do you drop him? It's difficult. It's becoming to a point where every player deserves a place.
Yeah, well, what about when Mundell comes back into the team? Watson had started to play really well and look like a threat as well, and he'll be back in it as well. I think someone said earlier on, it might have been Copley, who put out a team of Sunderland's injured players, not including the goalkeeper, and they went, that would rival our team playing now. I think it was like Huggins, Sealed, Ballard, Sirkin, and then it was Pervader, Brown, Rigg, Mundell or Watson, depending on which one you wanted, and then Abdullahi, and he had someone else listed as well who was like a sort of semi-first team, and you sit there going, God, like that could have been a starting team, really, for some of them,
I mean, it's a nice position to be in, but it must be difficult for the manager. Speaking of the manager,
saved a headache at the moment with the injuries, isn't he?
yeah. Speaking of the manager, you sent me a couple of videos
Oh yeah.
of the dugout reactions to the goals. So I'm going to play them back to back just so we can see them. But they're going to be in the middle, so don't forget you're not off camera, so no picking the nose.
And headphone users beware.
Yeah. For the first time in many seasons, I feel like we've got the right manager.
Yeah. I think the last time I remember a manager running about was Mowbray, Blackburn, a couple of seasons ago, where he ran off down the touchline when we won in the end. But again, I interrupted, sorry.
No, I think he's starting to phase his own, because he signed that coach, didn't he? And it was usually Dodds in his ear. But if you notice, the first person talking to him during that game was this new coach each time, and the first one celebrating with him. So I don't know if he's going to end up as assistant, and it's going to start to build up that way. But he's definitely got something there.
He definitely has a whole coaching team set up, really, with all the five of them. I think his own, Dodds, Proctor, and probably somebody else in there as well. It feels like they all work together as a unit for him, rather than having the manager just sort of going, I need you to do this for me. It's a bit like, if you can't be the master of everything, get all these guys who are really good at what they do and then feed into the overall team plan. You're all pulling for the same team, of course, so why not?
Yeah, and it's working. It's really working. The last thing I want to put on a video clip, I have to put this on here. I sent it to you the other night, and
don't fall in love with him.
I know, this is the thing. This is what's the biggest mistake you can do as a Sunderland fan: fall in love with a loan player, But not just that, the loan players fell in love with the club, like Ahmed did, right?
Like Ahmed did. I think he still does. It's just he's realised I am the best player at Man United as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, but this was just
it's not hard.
The pivotal for me.
Sunderland 2, Sheffield United 1.
If you've heard him in interviews, he barely speaks English as it is, and you can hear him singing. He's not just miming the words. He knows the words, and he loves it.
I know. I really do hope we keep him. I keep seeing, all the different ones of, you can get him for this much, you can get him for this much, and I don't really know what to believe. I saw one today that said the agreement's 4 million, but we have to do it if we get promoted or something. I'm sitting there going, if the agreement's 4 million, just do it now. Do it now.
Yeah, this is it. I wouldn't hang about on that one.
The agreement's over. You're sitting there going, they might start upping the price, and you're sitting there going, no, 4 mil, we'll have him now.
Yeah, it's if we don't sign. Honestly, I'd sell. I've got plenty of kids. I could sell a couple of them.
Don't do that, because I remember I really wanted us to sign Mvia. And when I saw those Instagram posts where he's like, I'm outside, but no one's letting me in, and they're not answering my phone calls, I was like, I can't believe they're doing this. This is one of the greatest players we've ever had, and he bloody loves us, and he shouldn't be at us, but he's literally stood outside going, I want to play for Sunderland, and they didn't bother.
Shocking. Different regime, so hopefully we've lessons learned.
Dom for 16 million, and you're sitting there going, you assholes.
But, I mean, it's a conversation for an upcoming video. But do we need to sign anyone in January? I think we've got an abundance of quality players.
Some rumours, we might have to talk about them.
Yeah, but the cries for a striker constantly, I don't think they need to be. Mienda's coming to his own. Isidor's coming to his own. The fact that we've got Connolly and Rusin and other options that, might score one day are great. But the fact we've got two good strikers and we play one striker in a game.
I don't know. I think it's worth having a look what's out there, of course, because what the best thing to do when you're in a strong position is strengthen again. You don't sit back and just go, that's it, we're done now. But I know I said that today to someone. He went, oh, both your strikers have scored. And I was like, yeah, I know, but I don't want that to be a thing of, oh, they've both scored. Right, we just don't need to do anything then. It's a bit like, you still need to look. You still need to see what's out there, because you never know that something goes wrong with this Isidore deal. One of them gets injured. Someone buys Mayenda. You might get a silly offer for Mayenda at the end of the season. Look at Juventus for Hamia. You might get a silly offer and go, well, actually, we'll take that, cash out, and we'll get the next one off the block. Who's like 17 years old. We'll buy him for 500k and we'll send him for 20 mil 2 seasons later. That type of thing.
Yeah. We'll do a transfer video separately and we'll discuss it on Not a Review video. But other than that, I think that's it for this review. Great result, of course. And the next fixture is Portsmouth on Sunday. Yes, yeah. And we will be doing a live commentary on this channel for that game. So we will... I've not done a live commentary on this channel that we've lost yet, so touch wood. That's what I'm saying. Would you like to say goodbye to the millions of viewers?
Thank you all for watching, listening, moaning at us. Whatever it is that you do, do like the video, subscribe. It really does help us out. We're trying to just grow as quickly as you can, and hopefully our Christmas and New Year stuff is sort of semi-over now. I am on holiday next week, but we should be able to be a bit more consistent, shall we say, Mike? I think that's the word, isn't it, sir? So, but yeah, thank you all. Your comments that you've made so far have been really appreciated, and we'll see you on the next one for the transfers.
Excellent. Yeah, from me, same message. Like, subscribe, all that wonderful stuff that the algorithm likes, and especially comment below. We always like to hear your thoughts on the games and stuff like that. And we'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.